Figaro, guess what opera we're doing today? You know what opera's this month? It's a Figaro opera. It's a Mozart opera about Figaro. What do you think about that? Welcome back to the New Year Planner fam, and today it's going to be a plan with me for my January 2022 monthly spread. And as you know, I like to feature themes from opera. I'm a big opera geek, hence my Instagram handle, Valkyrie Plans. So this month, I just felt like starting the new year off with something fun and just funny and just celebratory, and just I had to go with Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's Nozze di Figaro, or The Marriage of Figaro. And this is an oldie but a goodie, and I adore this opera. It's one of the operas that I've seen performed live, both simulcast and actually like seen live. I've been to live performances, so I really do love this opera. It was one of the first operas I saw, and it holds a special place in my heart. So this is going to be a little bit different from my usual opera plan with me's, where I will let you know to just skip over everything because I'm going to have lots of spoilers. This is a pretty long opera. It's a fun one, but it's long. So all of the spoilers kind of come at the very, very end. So I will kind of talk through everything, and then I will give a spoiler warning before I give out like the ending of the opera with all the fun twists and turns that it takes. So that will be coming soon. I want to start by talking about my materials. I have my planner, of course, and I'm going to pull out my January monthly pages. I also have this music note washi from Simply Gilded, and it's in gold and cream. I have some Sticky Club stickers that are vintage letter writing themed that I'm going to be using, and the reason why is the scene that I want to sort of recreate in my monthly spread is the letter writing scene between the Countess and Susanna as they are plotting their little scheme to trick their husbands and the Count Almaviva. So that is going to be why I have those. I also have these really nice little stickers. I'm gonna have this to represent Susanna and the Countess, and then toward the end we have obviously the wedding, and then I had this sticker which is sort of like a maid, but I thought also maybe the Countess in disguise. So I have these to decorate as well. And then I couldn't resist including this little chibi Mozart sticker. This is by Opera Nobby. I'll leave their Etsy link and everything in the description, but they do opera inspired like stationery, and they do all their own artwork, and so she has this whole chibi composer series, and so this is Mozart, so I'll be including that. I love that she does opera and stationery. That's like, yes, you know me. So that's gonna be somewhere in the spread as well, just as a fun call out. And then I have these stickers of the black and white cat from Happy Cutie Studio, and the reason I'm including this is because my kitty cat is named Figaro, and I want to include him somewhere in the spread in honor of his cuteness, because he is my little floof. Actually, he's very big. He's a very big cat. He's a Maine Coon mix, so he's quite big. But I will be including some of these just in honor of him. And then in terms of Happy Planner books, I have pulled colorful boxes. This is the newer one from the Pastel Happy box, and I haven't used these yet, and they have little like prompts already written on them, which is nice. And then I also pulled Let Love Grow because the color like hues and things match a lot of the rest of the stickers, so I'll just use these for decorative and such. So that is everything that I pulled to get ready to do this monthly spread. And then you guys know that I will be doing a little voiceover talking about the opera as I plan. There might be some images and call outs, and I'll try to feature as much royalty-free, non-copyrighted music of this opera as possible, so that you can enjoy some of the amazing music pieces from it as well. So without further ado, let's get started.
Nozze di Figaro, or The Marriage of Figaro, is based on Beaumarchais' series of Figaro plays, specifically The Mad Day, or Marriage of Figaro. The Figaro plays were highly influential in the opera world, and I may explore another famous Figaro opera, Barbara of Seville by Rossini, in a future Plan With Me video. But today, let's talk about Mozart's masterpiece. The story opens with Figaro, the personal valet of Sevillian Count Almaviva, rejoicing over his looming marriage to the Countess Rosina's maid, Susanna. He is deciding where to place their marriage bed when Susanna laments the proximity of their quarters to the scheming counts. You see, the count has decided to put back into place the droit de signor, or lord's right, a very antiquated custom of the lord of the manor having the right to any maiden on her wedding night, having set his sights on Susanna. Figaro, having aided the Count in his youth in his courting of Rosina, now the Countess, promises to deliver swift retribution if he attempts this. We next meet Marcellina, Figaro's old landlady, and I do mean old, she's old enough to be his mother, who has come to Countess Rosina's old guardian, Don Basilio, whom Figaro and Almaviva previously double-crossed. Basilio is delighted to learn that Figaro owes Marcellina a debt for which he jokingly offered up his hand in marriage as collateral, not thinking anything of it. Marcellina, however, wants Don Basilio to help her enforce the loan terms pro bono, and the devious lawyer is more than happy to join her in this vendetta. We then have a couple funny scenes involving a page boy, Cherubino, played as a trouser role, who has been caught with Susanna's cousin Barbarina and has also professed his adoration for Countess Rosina. He's definitely in trouble with the Count, and a hilarious tour de force ensues when he goes to lament to Susanna and then must hide when the Count appears to seduce her, only to then have to hide from Don Basilio when he appears. There are so many running jokes in this opera, I simply do not have time to mention all of them, so I definitely recommend seeing it for yourself. It is hilarious. I think I cried laughing all throughout the first time I watched the opera, and then thankfully when I saw it in person, I already kind of knew things because I would have spent the whole time just like crying laughing because it's just such a funny opera. So in Act 2, we meet Rosina, the Countess, who is very savvy and concocts a scheme with Susanna in order to teach her husband a lesson in fidelity. They disguise Cherubino as a maid and fool the Count into being caught in the act of trying to, cheat. But it ends up working, and then the Count begs for forgiveness. But before anything can be resolved or Susanna and Figaro's marriage begun, Don Bartolo, the judge, Don Basilio, and Marcellina present their case against Figaro to the Count. Now, if you don't want spoilers, skip to where I have it now on the screen because there's a whole bunch about to go down in this opera. Okay, here we go. In Act 3, the Count tries to force the marriage of Figaro to Marcellina, as Don Basilio has argued. However, he refuses to marry without the consent of his parents. He doesn't know who they are since he was an orphan, but as he describes the circumstances of his birth, Marcellina realizes that she is, in fact, not just old enough to be Figaro's mother, but actually is Figaro's mother, and his father is none other than the judge Don Bartolo. Now both Figaro and Susanna, as well as Bartolo and Marcellina, can plan to marry in peace. Of course, this lovely resolution does not stop the scheming Count, hence in Act 4. And so Rosina and Susanna devise a scheme to fool their husbands. The Countess asks her maid to write a letter confessing her love to the Count, the words of love being actually from his own wife and not Susanna. Then decide to switch places disguised as each other. Many, many hijinks ensue that ultimately culminate in the Count realizing the error of his ways in front of everyone, and the witty Rosina's triumph. Now the weddings commence, and the opera ends. This opera may be 4 hours long, but it is funny, heartfelt, uplifting, comical, and musically as perfect as one would expect of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Considering the play the story comes from was, in Mozart's time, quite controversial. I mean, we're talking a story where the servants are shown to be wiser and more moral than aristocrats. He really took some risks composing this piece, but the risks certainly paid off, as it's one of the most famous operas now of all time. And now, back to the planning.
All right, so I think I am ready now to write in everything, and this was a spread that was really layered, so I do have kind of a process that I follow with trying to do washi first. Then in this case I did lay down my days that I had things to do on, and then I added decorative stickers and then more decorative stickers on top of that, and then I added my larger stickers and everything at the very end. But I'm really happy how it's come together, and you can really I think see the theme, which is always the goal with my opera inspired spreads. And I do love that I got to use my chibi Mozart, and he kind of stands out in the bright blue, and I think that's fine. So I am going to go ahead and just take a before picture so I have it, and then I will be writing in my plans and I will show you guys the finished product. And here is the finished monthly spread with everything written in, and now I've got everything planned out in my monthly spread. And I usually do this sort of, instead of the very beginning of the month, I like to wait until around like this week, this middle week, because typically I have, you know, this first week in my at a glance, and I'm still kind of figuring out what's going on. And then by this time I'm like, okay, yeah, I have a really good idea of what's happening the rest of the month. And there's still room to write things in or add things. So it is a very decorative spread, but it's a functional spread because, as I always say, all planning is functional planning, because there's no such thing as planning that isn't functional, because planning, by the nature of it, is a functional task. So some people like to just write things in. Some people, like me, like to decorate with stickers. And I really like to do heavily decorated spreads for my monthly layout. So that's what this is. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. I think that it's just fun, and it kind of pulls in all of the themes from that scene in the opera. And I think that you could probably tell if you've seen the opera and you see Mozart here and letter writing and the two ladies, that this is referencing that famous duet. So I am super happy with this, and I am excited now to continue doing some more opera-inspired themes later this year. I'm thinking that I might do a Carmen theme for February, so stay tuned for that. And I will be doing a Sticky Club reveal, as well as a office tour once I finish wallpapering and getting all that done. So that'll be coming soon on the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video on Wednesday next week. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.